Ever heard a rule so bizarre you thought, no way that's real? Welcome to America's world of weird laws. Across the country, there are rules so old and specific they sound like pranks. Like banning fake mustaches in church or outlawing sleeping donkeys in bathtubs after 7 p.m. These laws are real, and each one is a quirky window into the past. Tonight, we're heading to Alabama, a state known for music, barbecue, football, and one of the strangest laws ever: a ban on selling peanuts after sundown on Wednesdays. Why peanuts? Why Wednesday? Why only after dark? We're about to find out. Was it a prank, a secret peanut conspiracy, or just old-fashioned logic gone wild? Grab a snack, just not peanuts if it's Wednesday night in Alabama, and let's dive in. This story is so odd it has to be true. Or does it? Let's find out together. Here's the law. In Lee County, Alabama, it was once illegal to sell peanuts after sundown on Wednesdays. Not Tuesday, not Thursday, just Wednesday and only after dark. Imagine craving boiled peanuts, but the vendor says, "Sorry, it's against the law tonight." This wasn't about eating peanuts. You could eat all you wanted. The law targeted selling them. Vendors and shopkeepers were the focus, not snackers. Why so specific? It wasn't about health or safety, but commerce. One county, one day, one nut. Well, technically a legume. It's so oddly detailed, you have to wonder, what did peanuts ever do to Lee County on a Wednesday night? The law is so focused, it's almost funny. No other snack, no other night, just peanuts, just Wednesdays. It's the ultimate you had to be there rule. So, what's the story behind this nutty law? Let's crack it open. To understand this law, let's rewind to the late 1800s or early 1900s. Back then, peanuts were a southern staple, sold by street vendors everywhere. Wednesday nights were special, church night. The whole community gathered for midweek services. Vendors set up near churches hoping to catch the crowd as they left. But peanuts are messy and noisy, cracking shells, rustling bags, shells everywhere. Imagine a peaceful church night interrupted by a peanut frenzy on the steps. Town leaders saw this as a nuisance, disrupting the quiet and cleanliness they valued. Their solution? Ban peanut sales on Wednesday nights to keep things respectful. It wasn't about hating peanuts, it was about keeping church night peaceful. Sometimes the simplest solution is also the strangest. But why only Wednesday? Why not Sunday, the traditional church day? Sundays were already quiet, most businesses closed, few vendors out. Wednesday was a regular workday, so vendors were everywhere until church time. The law was a compromise. Sell peanuts any other time, just not during midweek services. It shows how much influence the church had on daily life and local laws. Protecting the peace of Wednesday night was a top priority. The law wasn't just about peanuts, it was about respect for tradition and community order. Today it seems over the top, but back then it made perfect sense. Sometimes the weirdest laws are just reflections of what mattered most. So, if you visit Auburn, Alabama next Wednesday, will you get arrested for buying peanuts after dark? Relax, this law is more legend than reality now. It's what's called a blue law, an old rule tied to religious customs, long forgotten and never enforced today. Most historians can't even find the original text. If it ever existed, it's now just a quirky story, not an active law. Times have changed. Wednesday night church isn't the town's main event anymore. The peanut police are off duty for good. The Great Peanut Prohibition is just a fun piece of local folklore. Why does this silly law matter? Because it's a perfect snapshot of the past. It shows how communities once valued quiet evenings, church respect, and public tidiness, enough to legislate against peanuts. What seems ridiculous now made sense then. It's a reminder that today's normal might look just as odd in 100 years. We all have little annoyances. This was Lee County's way of handling theirs. And the irony? Alabama loves peanuts. Dothan is the peanut capital of the world. So, a peanut ban in peanut country is extra hilarious. It's like banning cheese in Wisconsin. These laws are more than trivia. They're stories about who we were. They show how much things change and how much stays the same, and they make history a lot more fun. What did we learn from Alabama's peanut law? Old laws are quirky postcards from the past, each with a story. The Wednesday peanut ban wasn't about nuts, it was about peace, tradition, and community. Behind every strange rule is a human reason, even if it seems nutty now. These odd laws remind us that history is full of surprises. Next time you hear a weird law, dig deeper. You might find a great story. And remember, a little absurdity makes life more interesting. Now if you'll excuse me, I have a donkey and a bathtub to check on.